Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining our chant class for Asia. Let's see, what shall we talk about tonight? Anyone has any questions or things I'd like to ask or discuss? Okay, think about it. We have another hour to go. Okay, let's see, what do we have for materials that we can talk about besides politics? You want me to talk about politics? No? Okay, then better ask me questions. Is there a thing about everything is a test? Could you locate it for me, please? Okay. So, since while you're working on your questions, yes, JC. Turns out there's a question.
Hello, how are you? Do you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
So a few days ago, we went to visit a Sonpang in Korea. It's one of the most famous Sonpang for the monks in Korea. And the head of the Sonpang shared the anecdote of Master Aung Yangshan. That Master Weishan asked Master Yangshan, there's 40 books of the Nirvana Sutra. How many sentences are from the demons? And then Master Aung San answered, all of that is from demons. And then the head of the Sonpang said he understood this as Master Aung San is good to go anywhere and not be moved by anyone, and then asked our opinions about it. So
what's the anecdote again? There's a one sentence that you said I couldn't quite catch.
So he said, Master Aung San said, all of the books are words of the demons.
Who said?
Master Aung San, Yang San said.
Repeat what the head of the abbot said.
Oh, not the abbot,
The whole thing.
The Sonpang. He said he understood this as
No. The anecdote.
the anecdote. Okay, the anecdote says Master Weishan asked Master Yangsan how many sentences in the Nirvana Sutra, which is 40 books, are
Dharma Sutra?
Nirvana Sutra.
Nirvana Sutra. Okay?
And then Master Yangshan answered, all the information in the book is words of the demons. All of that.
All the words were spoken by the demon.
Yeah.
Okay? And then?
And then the head of the Sonpang said he understood this as the Master Weishan sees Master Yangsan good enough to go and not moved by anyone or anything.
Oh, okay.
And then asked our opinions.
Ask for your opinion.
Our opinion, there was Chongin Sini, me, Jokyeon, who else was there? Venerable Shenji, we are all there.
Okay, very good. Lots of you went there. I'm sure it's for business. Okay? Yes, just a minute. There's a question in the back here.
No, Master, I just want to comment that it is the Yangshan anecdote that Master explained 1.8, all were spoken by the demon.
Which number is that?
1.8.
1.8, I explained already?
Yes, Master, you explained it.
I don't even remember. Okay, go ahead. Don't cheat now. You can't watch the video. It takes too long. Okay, so what did you folks have to say to the Venerable Jogye Order Sunim? Anything that stands out?
So we couldn't answer anything, but it was very interesting that Master Yangsan said everything is spoken by demons.
Everything spoken by demon. No one could say anything.
Yeah, but the vulnerable head of the Sampang said he understood this as Master Yangsan is good enough to go anywhere and not moved by anything.
Not go anywhere and not moved by anything.
He can go anywhere and not moved by anything. It's good enough to go anywhere.
And none of you could add anything. You could have checked. You could have checked our video and say, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom or something. Go check the video. What I have to say. Anyone remembers? Hong, do you remember what I said about this?
Yes, Master.
He remembers. My God, I don't even remember.
So Master explained that no one else can, he's like, no demon can test him out anymore. He gets to the state of non-discrimination.
What? Repeat that.
I remember that he is no longer discriminate anymore. So the Buddha and demons, I remember vaguely that is not a problem with him anymore. And Master say, I think is no one can beat him.
Okay, that sounds good. I would buy that because I said so. Anyone else has any other ideas? All were spoken by the demons. Okay, let's go back to this. This is the Wei Shan anecdote, right? Well, how come there's a lot? Let's see, Master Wei Shan asked by Yang Shan of 49, for the 42, the 40 section in Nirvana Sutra. How many were spoken by the Buddha? How many were spoken by the demon? Yang Shan said, all of them were spoken by the demon. Master Wei Shan, hereafter no one can handle you. Yang Shan, for this lifetime of mine, where should I tread? And Master Wei Shan said, the most important thing is for you to have the proper eye, no need to discuss where to tread. Okay? Is that what the Korean Sunim was referring to, or is it more than the Korean Sunim said?
Yes, this is what he referred to.
Okay. So why do you bring it up since we discussed it already?
Sorry, I didn't remember we discussed about it.
So you want me to know, to explain, to tell you what to tell him next time you see him?
I just couldn't understand what this anecdote was, and it was interesting. And then I didn't remember we talked about it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Next time you see him, you should tell him that I'm glad that you understand it, because my master says he does not understand it at all. But he explained it in the class once because he had to kill time. But in the end, when we asked him again, after we met with you, he admitted that he didn't understand at all.
Yes, Master.
Does it help?
Yes, it helped.
Because the people who explain these anecdotes tend to say, I understand the anecdotes. I'll be honest with you, I don't understand. can only explain to you my ignorance. For me to claim to sit here and proclaim that I understand these anecdotes, understand what Master Wei Shan was trying to teach Master Yang Shan, it would be preposterous. There's no way I can understand Master Wei Shan's intentions. No way. And there's no way for me to understand Master Yang Shan's intentions. What I did for you is I explained to you from my perspective what you ought to learn about Chan. But for me, it's never to try to claim to you that I understand what these two great masters in our Chan lineage were talking about, because the level is much higher than mine. Okay, so for me to even dare think I understand them is too arrogant, number one. Number two is that just because we don't understand it doesn't mean we should not discuss it. We can only discuss these things based on our own level of interpretation. But I will be the last one to make a claim that I understand them at all. I'm the one of the rare few monks who dare talk about it and make a fool of himself talking about it, okay? Trying to explain it to you, because I find it very helpful to you. That's why I spend time talking about it. But I would never dare claim that I understand it at all. That's what you can tell that monk. Yes, you came back, yeah, and related the story, and Master said, very good, you found a good known advisor, because I don't understand it. Now, I'm proclaiming it publicly, I don't understand these anecdotes. This is not the first time. Before, I did it in a casual way so that hoping no one would notice. And apparently many of you didn't notice. I confessed I did not understand it. Okay? How can I possibly understand what Master Wei Shan, Master Yang Shan were talking about? They're my ancestors. Yes, JC.
Just FYI, the Venerable head of the Sampang, he also said that he wouldn't understand everything. He just shared his opinions and asked our opinions as well. So he was being very humble that day.
So what did you learn from him? What did you all learn from that from meeting with him? He bringing up this anecdote. What was the point?
I don't know why he brought that anecdote, but when we introduced ourselves that we follow the Wei Yang teaching, he said, wow, that's very interesting incident that I just spoke about the anecdote of Master Yang San in a lecture a few days ago. And then he was very happy to meet us because he want to be more open. And he said that Korean Buddhism should be more open to different lineage.
Okay, and then you could offer to share with him my explanation of the Wei Yang anecdotes. That would help him.
Yes, Master.
Okay. All right. Any other comments or questions? Jumi, I thought you had a question.
마스터, 들리세요? 네, 슬라이드 찾으신다고 하셔가지고 제가 어제 날짜로 상옥스님께서 통역하신 반야신경이 올라왔었어요. 그런데 그것에 대해서 질문을 하려고 하는데 괜찮을까요?
오케이. Master, because you were looking for a slide, so I was about to ask. Yesterday, Sanguk Sunim did a translation on Heart Sutra, and I want to ask you about that thing. Is it okay for me to ask?
Sure.
아, 네. 어제 한국 날짜로 어제 올라왔던 반야신경은 2016년도에 강사를 하셨던 거고, 부제목은 수계의 의미였었어요. 네.
So this is about 2016 lecture. This is from the 2016 Heart Sutra lecture, and it's about the meaning of receiving a precept.
What? The meaning of what?
Receiving a precept.
What?
Precept.
The word precept before precept is what?
Receive.
What?
Receive.
Oh, receiving precepts.
Yes.
Okay.
네. 그래서 이제 그 내용 중에 이제 맨 마지막 부분이 어떤 내용이었냐면 인욕에는 두 가지 방법이 있다. 첫 번째는 중생인가 법인이다라고 하셨었어요. 네.
So the context, the last part was about endurance and patience. There's a two-way to do a patience paramita. First one is living being paramita, and one other thing is dharma. Dharma patience.
What?
법인이 인욕에 인이 들어간 건가요?
네, 맞아요. 그러니까 중생인 법인이었어요. 네, 맞아요.
거기 혹시 영어도 혹시 같이 적혀 있나요? 뭐라고?
아니요. 상옥스님이 통역하신 거에는 예, 영화 쓰면 영어가 거의 들어려 있지 않고 스크립터도 없어요. 죄송합니다. 혹시 지금 카카오톡 보실 수 있으면 제가 보내드릴 수는 있거든요. 이거 제가 한국말 스크립터를 제가 캡처는 했어요, 스님. 그러면 제가 이거 한국말 스크립트 캡처한 거를 보내드릴게요. 중생인과 법인이라고 되어 있는데, 네, 일단 한번 보셨어요.
So in the patience, there's two ways to do it. One is by living being patience, and one other is dharma patience.
Dharma patient, living being patient. Okay.
네. 네. 근데 이제 제가 여기에 그러니까 중생인을 수행하면 헤아릴 수 없는 공덕을 짓는다고 했고, 법인을 수행하면 엄청난 지혜를 얻는다고 부연 설명하셨었어요. 네.
So living being patience, if you practice that, you will have immeasurable merit and virtue. And if you practice dharma patience, then you will attain wisdom.
네, 제 질문은 제가 그래서 인욕 수행을 했을 때 공덕에 대해서 설명을 하시고 더 이상 거기서 내용은 끝나서 제가 챗 GPT로 중생인과 법인을 찾아서 중생인의 내용에 대해서는 숙지를 했고요. 네.
So the context ends there. So I did some research on living being patience. So I get that now.
이제 질문은 여기서 그러니까 인욕 수행 중에서 법인을 수행하면 수없는 지혜를 얻는다고 했는데 법인을 수행하는 것이 어떤 의미인 건지 챗GPT에 정확하게 나오지 않아서 질문드립니다.
So I studied by ChatGPT, but I couldn't know. I couldn't study about Dharma patience. That it says if you practice Dharma patience, you attain immeasurable, limitless wisdom. But ChatGPT doesn't explain about Dharma patience. So I would like to know about what Dharma patience is, how you practice it.
Okay, that was a long time ago. I would not explain like that anymore. Okay. The Dharma patience refers to the process of cultivation, the method of cultivation, where you are directed by your teacher, by your Gudnu advisor, and how to practice. And that's part of the development of your Dharma patience. Okay, it's a method of practice in Buddhism, whether it's Hinayana or Mahayana. You need to go through a certain process of practice where you develop the patience of the Dharma. That's key, that's central to Buddhist training. Okay, it doesn't matter which lineage you do. You still have to go. They all are about training in a patience with the Dharma in order to open your wisdom. Okay, so for example, in the Chan practices, you are being taught to develop the Dharma patience, and then as well as in the Pure Land practices, the same thing. You're developing that. Okay, so without having to understand the exact definition, you simply are taught. You are being guided to develop that patience with the Dharma. All right? And if you have to ask me again, because I don't remember, it was spoken 8 years ago, and my Alzheimer is getting worse and worse. I don't remember anymore what I said. And so in terms of patience with living beings, it has to do with the fact that usually I would not talk about patience dealing with living beings until after I have developed the patience with the Dharma. Meaning that you cannot create limitless merit and virtue by being patient with living beings unless you have wisdom. You have enough wisdom to be patient with living beings. I hope that's why I explained. That's how I explained it. If you ask me, you're forcing me to explain it that way, then I would say, first you should develop patience with the Dharma, and then once you have the wisdom, then you develop the patience with living beings. I don't think I explained it that way, unfortunately. But now, if I look back, if you divide it into that way, in two things, and that's how I would prioritize them. Do not make the mistake of trying to develop them at the same time. Okay? You need to reach a certain level before you can do that. All right? I hope it helps. All right, anyone else? Okay? Again, feel free to ask any questions about anything because this forum is for you to help answer questions that you don't necessarily have a chance later on. Okay, and that's to the anecdote. The next anecdote, the Buddha and the way. Okay, let me read it for you. Yang Shan asked Xu Shi, what is the difference between the Buddha and the way? Xu Shi replied, the way is like an open hand, and the Buddha is like a fist. When he left Xu Shi, the latter escorted him to the door, saying, do not leave forever, as you will have to come again in the future. And there's some background information for you. It's from the record of Lin Ji. Lin Ji is the founder of the Lin Ji Chan School in China. He's very famous. He's founded a very important school of Chan in the history of Chinese Chan. So he's a great monk, okay, because his appeals to a lot of people for a long time. But eventually he will die because people can no longer keep up with him. Someone asked the lay worker Xu Shi in treading the pestle shaft of the rice mortar would forget he was moving his feet. Where did he go? Drowned in a deep spring, the master replied. Okay, and so anyway, we're not here to discuss this anecdote here, okay? But suffice it to tell you that this is typical of the Chan anecdotes. Don't try to understand them. Most of all, do not make the mistake of claiming you understand. Who are you to understand what Master Lin Chi has in mind? You're not him. Can you read his mind even if he's there? Okay? So forget it, okay? Don't ever claim that you understand any of these monks. Okay? When they, even if you understand little, you don't understand what he has in mind when he taught his particular, this particular someone who asked. So you see, in Chan, when we speak Dharma to you, it's very directed. Okay, meaning that the Dharma has to deal with the person who asked. And then the answer also have to be able to reach the people who are listening right then. And then also, if you are at a high level, you also must be able to reach the people in the future who would read it. Or even worse yet, the people who would be watching you on YouTube. Like nowadays, you really really make a fool of yourselves, okay? And so that's why to claim, to try to study these things, especially like many monks who practice meditation and who has a little bit of wisdom, make the mistake of thinking that they understand these anecdotes, okay? So for example, my teacher, Master Xun Hua, a Chinese teacher, he never really tried to go into these anecdotes with his disciples. Why not? It's because it would not be helpful to his disciples. It's not that he did not understand these anecdotes. He understands them more than I can. But he never felt that they were helpful to his disciples. Okay? For me, I feel they're helpful to you for two reasons. Number one, I want to try to pique the interest of all of you, whether you're Chinese, whether you are Korean, whether you are European, you are, and so forth, whatever ethnicity you have, whatever culture you have. I want you to pique your interest in seeing the depth of the Chinese chant. That's my first purpose. Okay. Number two is that I find that because of your levels, I can use these anecdotes to try to relate to you how these great Chan masters of old trained their students. And this, between Master Wei Shan and Yang Shan, is a lot of certain teaching going on, a lot more than others, okay? And quite advanced certain teaching. So that's why I was also not only sharing with you, but also trying to learn it myself, trying to appreciate why he was doing certain things, okay? But to think, do not ever make the mistake of thinking you understand these anecdotes, because we don't, okay? We only understand, maybe, if we're lucky enough, we're good enough, we understand one aspect of it, okay? But certainly, we don't have enough information to understand why, for example, in this slide number 6 here, Lin Chi would say that to this someone. We don't know that's what that someone was, okay? And you remember, the Chan teaching is always directed at a person, a group of people. There's a purpose in all these Chan teachings, these Chan instructions, okay? They're very, very directed Chan instructions are never globally and say, oh, sit in full lotus. Even sitting in full lotus is directed at a certain group of people, okay, for a certain purpose. And then the only problem with that is that it will eliminate the people who are not willing to sit in full lotus. You see? So even all Chan instructions are directed. They all have a purpose. Okay? It's never haphazard. So that's why it's not possible for us to understand. Okay? However, it doesn't mean that we should not be discussing it. Just because we don't understand doesn't mean we cannot discuss it. We can use it to illustrate to you the depth of the Chan teachings. All right? All right. So anyway, here's background information for lay worker Xu Shi. Okay? He's a Xu Shi Xingzhe, another name for Shan Dao. Okay? Shan Dao was a 9th century monk in Qingyuan line of Chan, heir to Master Zhang Ziguang, one of the prominent students of Master Shu To. Okay, I used to be impressed, by the way, just between us, I used to be impressed by Shu To because Shu To and Ma Zu were known to be two great Chinese Chan masters in parallel at the times. You have to go through either Shu To or Ma Zu. You are able to be claimed to be one of their students under them. You're something else. If they deemed you worthy enough to teach you, okay, in extended period, then you're something else. You have potential. Okay, so but as the more I learn about Master Shu To's descendants, the less impressed I was with Master Shu To. Okay, anyway, during the proscription of Buddhism of 843 to 845, Shan Dao lived in a stone grotto in the You district of Tanzhou in present-day Hunan. There he took off his monk's robes and dressed like a lay worker, a layman who lives in a temple engaged in menial work but does not shave his head. After the proscription was lifted, elder monks gathered around Shan Dao. He did not resume wearing his robes, however, spending his days instead treading the pestle shaft of the rice mortar to provide food for his students. The term lay worker is also associated with Wei Neng, the 6th patriarch, who, when he was at the 5th patriarch's monastery, working in rice threshing shed, was known as Lu Xingzhe, the lay worker Lu. He's regarded as the first lay worker in Chinese Chan. Okay, so this is the background. So this Xu Shi here was a famous Chan master, and his claim to fame was that he's kind of an oddball. He had a lot of followers, and even after the prosecution of the Chinese Chan was lifted by the Chinese emperor, he continued to keep his layman's clothes and taught Chan as a master and accept a lot of monks as his disciples. Now, this is just my personal observation, and please take it with a grain of salt. Clearly, this Chan master have some wisdom because it's illustrated by, proven by the way that he treated Master Yang Shan. Okay, but however, those were the early days of Chan. Okay, the 9th century. That's still pretty early because Bodhidharma, Great Master Bodhidharma, came to. It was not that much longer after. Okay, so there were the Chan school were not that well defined yet. Okay, and so he has enough influence to be able to have a lot of monks to follow him, and I admire the fact that he sacrificed himself and worked in the pestle rice mortar to feed his students. That to me is very clean. Meaning to me that he's poor, so he felt he needed to do something to feed his students. So they live in poverty. I like that. I really like that. Okay, that he was above the materialistic pursuits of normal people or most monks, and that's remarkable of him. That's why he basically a good Chinese Chan master. The one thing I don't like about it is that he chose to wear lay people's clothes. To me, I hope in the future that you don't do that, okay? Because in my side of the pond, my side of the tracks, I will not recognize any lay person as a standalone Chan teacher. Okay? All lay people who teach Chan should be under a Sangha, under a monk, under a nun. Because you are not supposed to, as a lay person, transmit the Chan thing, the Chan knowledge. Okay, if you want to be a teacher, do it like Master Huineng. He was a lay person. He was enlightened way higher level than all the other monks at the time. And so, in order for him to teach them, he had to become a monk. That's what I go by. That's the great role model right there for you, okay? You, as a lay person, we're not going to try to dampen your spirits and not train you. Everyone will be trained, will be taught based on how far you can go, how hard you work. So there's no limit to the training. We don't nitpick. However, once you decide to teach Chan, it better be under a Chan master, under a monk or a nun. Okay? That's why I asked of you. Okay. So for this guy here, I like everything he does. He chose to live poor and to support his students. That's very good. Okay. So this is a spirit that is rarely seen nowadays anymore. Nowadays, most monks and nuns, I feel, are way too much under pressure, under financial pressure. Okay, and if that's not healthy for your cultivation. And so that's what we should all learn. Can learn from this Xu Shu here. He's a monk, but he's a poor monk. It's always a very healthy thing to do. Okay, but unfortunately, that he chose to not wear a monk's garb when teaching. That's wrong to me. Okay, please don't do that. All right. And let's go back to that's a background information for you. So, and clearly, Master Xu Shu was, I would not call him master. Xu Shu was a famous Chan master, and this in the spirit of Chinese Chan, Master Yang Shan, who heard of his reputation as a good known advisor, he went to seek instruction from Xu Shu. That's where the anecdote started. It says he asked Xu Shu. So he came, he traveled, and he got to ask to see Master Xu Shu. Eventually he was able to see Master Xu Shu. And then he asked Master Xu Shu, may I ask you a question? Okay. And so the question was, what is the difference between the Buddha and the way? Okay. So there, right here, I feel that Master Yang Shan was sincere. He wasn't trying to test Master Xu Shu at all. Many people would come and hear of a famous Chan master, especially a lot of stupid people would come and try to test the knowledge and say, what does this anecdote from the book mean to you? Okay? And could you explain it for me? So they try to, these people, they try to go over to try to demonstrate their superior intellect, that they read a lot, they know a lot, and that's all. And that happens. It's going to happen to all of you if you try to teach. Okay, it happened to me early days. Now, because of my bad reputation as having a temper and being brutal and blunt, no one comes and asks me anymore because I will embarrass you. Okay, So Master Yang Shan came asked Shu right away. So it's very direct. What is the difference in the Buddha and the way? What does it tell you right there? Okay, what's the problem? What's the problem with this question? See, I just criticized Xu Shi. Now I'm criticizing Yang Shan. What's the problem? What's the matter with this question? No one? Not obvious to you? What's the matter with this question? It shows that Yang Shan was not at high level. Clearly, Yang Shan was not high level at all at that time. Why not? DTT.
Master, as I think that the Buddha is the way already, because he's a standard, so he's the way. So why he has differentiate between the Buddha and the way?
Yeah, okay. So basically, Yang Shan would say, he's still discriminating. He says, difference, here's the key word. He's still discriminating. He's still discriminating between the Buddha and the way. That's why, that's right there, that's right there. Sometimes your questions would tell us where you are. Usually, we take a look at you, we pretty much know where you are already. It's when you open your mouth, that's when it kind of confirms for us how stupid you really are. Okay? Or how wise you are, how scared you are. It works the other way too. Because sometimes you're so advanced, you look at us and you say, oh, you're so stupid. And so there people would ask a question and clearly, it's way beyond us, okay? It happens too. It works both ways. It's a two-way street, okay? And that's what happens. That's part of the process. Sometimes you win some and you lose some. No big deal. But here, Master Yang Shan here came to this monk with a great reputation as a good no advisor. Darn good practice to do. You learn. You should always go and have a humble attitude and look for some tips from instructions from someone who has a reputation as a good no advisor. Okay? And so, meaning they put themselves in a position where they're supposed to teach us. Whereas there's a difference between that and don't put pressure versus putting pressure on someone who's famous. Okay, and so don't embarrass the monks and nuns. Okay, there's no need for that. Let them be. Let them do their things. Okay, if we can help, we should help, but do not do anything to detract from their good work. Okay, and that's very important. Okay, so Master Yangshan here is very sincere. At the time, he didn't quite understand. His mind was still discriminating. Okay, force a habit. He's a very smart young man at the time. So that's why he said, I'm very serious cultivator of Chan, a student of Buddhism, as Mahayana in particular. Will you tell me what's the difference between the Buddha and the way? Okay, now I don't feel. You see, you look at the way it's phrased. It's very direct. It's nothing convoluted, nothing. Okay, it gets to the point right away. Very direct. Okay, that's a very, very good question. Okay, but it also betrays his level of wisdom, because he's still discriminating between the Buddha and the way, by the word difference. Okay, so in Chinese, 道相具几何. So he says, yeah, there is a separation here between the Buddha and the way. Okay, so what is it? And Sri Sri replied, the way is like an open hand and the Buddha is like a fist. What do you think? Logically, it makes sense, doesn't it? The way, your cultivation is like an open hand, okay? And so you use your open hand to cultivate, and when you become a Buddha, now you become a fist, okay? Now you become a Buddha, so now you have a purpose. The way is for everyone, so it's open hand, okay? It has many variations, many permutations. You can, from the hand, you can do a one finger thing and hurt someone, do a karate chop, okay? Or do a fist, and so forth, okay? So the way has many permutations. Where the Buddha is like a fist, it's the Buddha now has a function, has a purpose, okay? Seems reasonable, yeah? Agree, disagree? Anyone has any problems with this? Seems reasonable, but what's the problem? I just explained to you. What's the problem with this answer? He's taking a discrimination, the word difference here, and he elaborated on the discrimination. How is he helping this young Yangshan here? So he's reinforcing Yangshan's discrimination. He says, after the answer, he says, you see, so Yangshan, see, I was right. There is a difference between the way and the Buddha, according to this good known advisor. Does it help Yangshan? Yangshan's problem is discriminating. So how did the answer help him? It only reinforces his discrimination. Okay? And this is the pressure you have. When you try to build a reputation as a good known advisor, you're gonna make a fool of yourself eventually. We all do, okay? Don't worry about it. We all do. We're all in the same boat. But right here, Sri Sri replied right away. He says, there's discrimination. The way is different from the Buddha, because he himself discriminates. That tells you how much really he understands Chan. When he left Sri Sri escorted Yangshan to the door, saying, do not live forever, as you will have to come again in the future. So that tells me a lot about Sri Sri. What's wrong with this answer? What's wrong with this statement? It's not the spirit of Chan at all, folks. Let me tell you. What's wrong with this statement? He says, I'm pretty important. I know a lot more than you. Right now you're low. In the future, you have to come back and see me again because I can't teach you yet. It sounds reasonable, okay? Because, hey, I teach PhD classes. You ask me a question that's freshman year, okay? You have to come back when you're ready. It's reasonable. But that's not the spirit of Chan. The spirit of Chan is what? The spirit of Chan is that it's not about me showing off how much I know. What I know is none of your damn business. Okay? I don't need to use it to impress you. What I know is what I know. Okay? It's useless to you, honestly. The reason we teach you Chan is in order to help you with your cultivation, not to demonstrate to you that I know more than you. Of course I know more than you, a lot more than you think. But that's none of your business. Your business is you worry about how to become enlightened. You worry about how to surpass me. That is valid. Okay? And so here, this is where I'm disappointed at Xu Shu. Okay? He discriminates. Okay? He reinforces Yang Shang discrimination. He should have said, hey boy, okay? Don't be so discriminating. Would you prefer it that way? I would prefer it that way because it's helpful. I came to you because I'm hoping to learn about something that I cannot learn by myself. Okay? So Xu Shu should have told him something that Yang Shan could use right away. And would guide him, if he's better, would guide him a lot longer. Okay, than just that meeting. Okay, so Xu Shu, it turns out Xu Shu, I would not recommend you go to these types of teachers. Xu Shu still discriminates. Yes, too.
Thank you, Master. I was just wondering, do you think Venerable Xu Shu was just placating Venerable Yangshan, or?
How does it help Yang Shang's discriminating mind? By reinforce. He just reinforced it. He says, you're right, there's a difference. The way is an open fist, it's an open hand, and the Buddha is like a fist. So they're different, okay? It's meaning he even have the first wisdom that in Buddhism, that's yi jie chu, meaning that the first wisdom you attain is the all wisdom. Okay, yi jie is all wisdom. Yi jie chu is all wisdom. Okay, and that's a wisdom that sees everything is empty. So the way is empty, the Buddha is also empty. He's not even able to see that. That's why he still discriminates. Yang Shan still discriminates. And Xu Shu still discriminated as well. He said, they're different. You're right, they're different. Okay? And then worse yet, later he says, you should come back when you get to PhD level, come back and see me. Right now you're too low. Huh? Okay, and this is what you need to learn. How are you helping me? I walk all the way here. I travel so far to come to you. Okay? Will you please make it worth my while to travel this far so that tell me something that I cannot see that would help me in my cultivation? That's what a good knowing advisor is supposed to do. Because I can see myself. Okay? There's wisdom called Great Perfect Mirror Wisdom. It's like a mirror. Okay? And that's exactly refers to the wisdom of a good knowing advisor. Okay? It's very, very important in cultivation, folks. The perfect mirror wisdom is that when you go look at the mirror, it reflects you. You, no one else. So the good no advisor need to reflect you. So what does it reflect? It's not reflect, we're not talking about, there's no wisdom reflecting the flesh and the hair and the clothes. It reflects your problems, your inaptitudes. Because you cannot see. That's why you need a mirror to see it. So the good no advisor who has the perfect mirror wisdom is supposed to help you see things you cannot see yourself. Is that clear? In Buddhism, it's so subtle. Unless you pay attention, no one has ever explained to you what the great perfect mirror wisdom does. That's what it does. The good no advisor is supposed to reflect you. It's not your flesh body. It's not your head. It's not your hair. It's not your Birkin back. It's your blind spots that you cannot see until you look at the mirror. Okay? And so if you are a good no advisor and you teach someone, you have to tell them, don't live forever, come back, because you have to come back, see me again. They say, no. A real good no advisor says, I hope that you find someone that will teach you better and will help you in cultivation. Okay? It's not about me. Don't come back and see me. There are plenty of good teachers out there. I hope you find them. So boys and girls, pay attention to this. I put you in a place where you teach Chan, you teach Pure Land. Don't make the mistake of thinking you're special, that you know everything. You don't. Okay? Know your limitations. You only know so much. I only taught you so much because that's all you're able to absorb right now. Okay? Well, I put you in a place to teach Son. I put you in a place to teach Chan. I put you in a place to teach whatever. It's because it helps you. When people ask you questions, you don't know the answer. Be honest. Say, I don't know the answer to this. Let me go back to my teacher and ask him how to answer you. But thank you for asking the question. Be honest. Do not try to convince people that you know everything, because you don't. I don't either, but I know a little bit more than you. That's all. Okay? And so that's a problem with Xu Shu again. Xu Shu never really had a teacher. That's why he did all these things that made people feel he's special and so forth. Yes, he has virtues, he has perseverance, those are great virtues, but he has no real wisdom yet. That's why he's stuck on being, have a discriminating mind, and then think of himself as so important that people have to come in the future to talk to you again when they're better. That's nonsense. Does it help? It's a lesson of humility. None of us is that important. And especially you, who've been studying Buddhism a lot, do not ever think you understand. You don't. I look at all of you. I know you don't understand Chan. I know you don't understand Pure Land. That's why you're there, because people can ask you questions to show you where you don't understand. So the people who come and ask you, are part of the great perfect mirror wisdom to help you see, if you're humble enough. Does it help? I use Xu Shu here. Of course, I don't understand this anecdote, but I use Xu Shu here to teach you a very important lesson about cultivation as a teacher. Xu Shu made a serious mistake. He did very good things, living in poverty, supporting his students, building his reputation, all those are good things. Okay? But wrong, number one, do not wear lay people's clothes as a teacher. Number two, look at yourself. You have no wisdom yet. You still discriminate. You just discriminate between Buddha and the way. You still discriminate between man and woman. That's lack of wisdom. You discriminate against Vietnam and Korea. It's lack of wisdom. Listen. Look at yourself in the mirror. What do you see? And then, finally, very important lesson here for all of us. We are not that important that people have to come and ask us and give us donation and support and learn from us. No, we're not. So for who he say, do not, you have to come back to see me again when you better. That's baloney. Okay? Okay, we stop here today. Thank you, everyone.